Rachel Bailey, and this is another episode of 2 Tips in 3 Minutes, where I'll give you effective, if not intuitive, strategies for handling frustrating behavior in a respectful way. Today we're going to talk about sibling fighting, and in this scenario, I'm going to talk about when one sibling is always mean to the other. So let's say you have a son and a daughter, and your older daughter is always mean to your younger son, calling him nerd and telling him what a loser he is. In this case, you might be worried about both children. Not only how your son is going to be affected by his sister's cruelty, but wondering why your daughter is so mean. What you might try to do to get her to stop is punish her, like grounding her or taking away privileges, or even using logic, telling her that her brother is going to be with her forever and she better be nice to him. But that's probably not going to stop the fighting in the long term, and that's tip number one. And that tip is that logic and consequences don't usually end sibling fighting. The reason is because it doesn't actually get to the root of the problem. Because we are, as human beings, pro-social. We're wired for connection. So if someone is not being nice to someone else, there's a reason. They're usually getting something from that behavior. So for example, if your daughter's feeling powerless in some area of her life, maybe at school or with her friends or at home, she may feel more powerful by being that mean to her brother. Or if she gets her sense of value and worth through being cool at school or with her friends, she may feel like she needs to separate herself from her brother so that he doesn't ruin her reputation. And these are all long-term goals to address that need so that she does stop. But in the short term, we still need to address the behavior, and I do have a tip for that, which is tip number 2. Create opportunities for children to be on the same team. It's so easy for siblings to feel competitive. In reality, they are competing for your time and attention. And we may even set it up by saying things like, who can get dressed faster, or who did better in algebra or geometry, or this one is my easy child. But instead we want to focus on them having a common goal, and you may choose to do this as a family, for example doing something like geocaching together as a family, which is scavenger hunts using GPS, or you can just have the kids work together to complete a task that has a reward that they both want, like a movie night or a shopping trip. The goal is to get them to collaborate. And the truth is they are likely to fight at first, but eventually that sense of belonging and being on the same team usually does bring positive feelings. Eventually, they're likely to see each other's strengths because they needed each other to complete the task, and they're more likely to respect each other and less likely to be nasty to each other. So that's 2 tips for motivating siblings to be kinder and more respectful. Go ahead and fill out the form that accompanies this video to see how these 2 tips apply to your family. If you have any questions that you want me to answer on an upcoming 2 Tips in 3 Minutes, feel free to email me. And of course, if you enjoyed the content, please share it. Thanks. See you next time.